Yo! What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever evening with Hermit Style.
First ever.
We did record another one, and it didn't turn out well, so it just wasn't good enough to post. But here we are for the first one ever. We're gonna do these periodically. We're gonna try and get one out every other week with the team. So for those of you that follow Hermit Style, you know that we recently put together a competitive team. So this is everyone on our A team. And we're just going to do these, talk about different things going on in the competitive scene of Dragon Ball, and have multiple topics that we go over about the game so you can get more insight into how we're all doing, what we're playing, and then also some of our own results of training. So we'll go around and introduce ourselves. I guess, Armando, I'll pass it off to you first.
I like that you just skipped yourself too. That way it loops back around.
Hey.
Makes sense. You're like, listen, this is my show. People gotta know who I am.
There's probably everyone listening is from the Discord, so y'all probably know they probably know everybody, honestly, but
probably. Yeah. Okay, so I'm Armando. Right now I'm testing Gogeta Zeno and Cell Surge, I guess. So those are what I'm testing for Nats. A fun fact about me is that everyone voted not to do fun facts this time around. So from there, I'll pass it off to Trevor.
Yeah, I'm Trevor. Fun fact about me, I guess.
It's over.
My name is just Trevor, and that's about it. Content creator, that's about it. Peace. That's it. I'm done.
Jay.
I'm Jay, and for Nats, I'm testing currently Sin Shenron and Golden Frieza. And my fun fact is that my hot mixtape is dropping soon with an Armando disc now. I'll work that into the track list, so look out for that. About a week or two.
Jimmy?
I'm Jimmy.
I mean, we already did you. Okay. Jerry?
Hi, guys. I'm Jerry. I've been testing some janky stuff for Nats. A little bit of Hachiek, maybe that might be like the only serious deck. Red Black Bulma, just all sorts of jank. Seeing if I can catch people off guard. And my fun fact is that Jay is my favorite employee at Applebee's.
Kyle? Appetizers after 9.
What's up? My name's Kyle. I guess my fun fact is I'm the one person who's somehow taken it upon myself to continue the pain of testing Ss4 against Cell Surge. So if you want some horror stories, you know, the good old flashback Vietnam plane crash sound effect in the background, I'm sure you can find Mir Sublet in the main channel.
Nick?
That's how you know someone's into BDSM.
False.
That's his fun fact. That's his fun fact. All right.
That's not even an introduction.
That's everything. We'll go on to Zach now.
Good job.
Oh, is it actually me, or is Nick going to introduce himself?
No, we're good. That's enough.
I'm Zach. I am testing everything. I have Cell Surge built. I have Soul Striker in shambles. And my favorite color is translucent.
Ooh, good color.
Wow. There's a fun fact.
Okay. So today we're talking about our weekly focus, which sadly we don't have a drop, but I guarantee you one day I'll get one. So our weekly focus today is set 15 secret rares and side deck cards for Nats. So I know Zach's been dying to monologue about the red-blue secret rare. So
all of them, actually.
Well, you only get one, so.
Damn it. Okay, well, I'll deal with that one.
Passing it off to Zach, it's going to be the Radiant Saiyans.
Yeah, so people have seen this already. So it's an 8-drop, red-blue, 40k secret rare. It has the ultimate tag, which, fun fact, 2, I was at the store today, and I thought it said unique instead of ultimate. I was like, Bandai's fucking trolling me right now. I was like, there's no way they're making it unique. Okay. But anyway, that's sidebar. for some reason, it has 0k or 0 cost 10k combo power, so you can combo with it for free.
Broken.
It's removed from the game if it's removed from the battle area, like every other secret rare that they put in the past 5 sets. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, your leader has to be red, blue, or shares a character name, which would be Bula, which that doesn't exist yet. Jean, which doesn't exist yet. Is that Jean BR?
Yes.
Okay, so it has to be a Jean BR leader, Caulifla, or Kale leader. It gains double strike and crit, so you're going to be playing it in one of those
Zach,
two
I have
leaders.
to pause you for a second. Tell me you didn't watch Dragon Ball Super Broly without telling me you didn't watch Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Oh, I did. Oh,
Yeah.
the funny thing was, is I watched it with it muted and subtitles because I was watching it at work.
Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't want to listen to it.
Love it.
It's I think it's Gene.
Jean, same thing.
Yeah.
Geen, you know what?
I just
Tomato, potato, they all sound the same to me.
It's fair.
So
Like-
if you play it, it's gonna have double strike crit. It's 40k. So auto 2 energy, end of the battle, which come with this card from your hand. Play this card from your drop area. If you don't, choose up to 4 non-barrier battle cards, place them at the bottom of their owner's decks, and remove this card in your drop area from the game. A lot of text for me to say it's not going to go into anything. Red cards or red leaders are already going to play Kai or the red Broly secret rare if you're playing one of those 2 decks, or the Frieza's army secret rare if you're playing Control Frieza. Blue decks are already going to play Baby Hatch, and I think right now Caulifla and Kale leaders are all either red or blue anyway, so you're not going to play it in those.
So I actually think that that's pretty playable in red decks. I'm
You're
gonna be
trolling
honest.
if you think it's playable in red
Man,
decks.
I think it's pretty
okay.
solid in Bulma.
Yeah, it's a 0+10. It bottom deck shit when you play it.
But it doesn't
Oh,
ignore
man.
barrier. Oh, if
Yeah.
it ignored barrier, it'd be so. It would be. I would say yes. It's good in red decks, but it doesn't ignore barrier, and I think that's why. Kai is either better or the other 2 for their specific strategies.
Yeah, but think about how searchable this is. And at worst, it's a red-blue combo that you can recur. Like, for example, Jerry and I were talking about this in Bulma, as Jerry just said it could be good in Bulma. You can just combo with it, then use Videl to stuff it back into your deck. Like, that's pretty cool.
If you combo with it, it's removed from the game, right?
No, only if you
I'm not sure.
If you use the auto, it does that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but wouldn't you just want to cycle back your super combo?
You add the super combo back to hand, and you put that at the bottom of the deck. That's like the skill in order to get the super combo back to hand is bottom decking.
But then you'd have to run. Do you run cyclers in the or shufflers in the deck? So you bottom deck it.
You definitely
what cards
can.
would you be? You would have to run that to reshuffle the deck. I don't know. I don't know.
I think for a secret rare that costs 2 energy, you can do a lot worse, especially it's red blue, which is one of the strongest color combinations. Like at worst, it's a free arrival piece. How many secret rares are they're dead in your hand because they're 1+10Ks and you get swung on and then you're like, damn, I can't even combo this.
That's like one scenario out of like 10 where you'd rather not, where it doesn't combo and you can't play it.
Yeah, well, that's 1 out of 10 points that this has on the other secret rare.
I think I'd rather just play the Goku Frieza secret rare at that point, pay 5 and just be inevitable than
at 2 life. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll say this though. If people don't have Kai or Baby Hatch for whatever reason, this is a huge step up from just like lineage.
And
that's true.
It gains crit and double strike. Like it's good. You're trolling. It's definitely pretty good.
Hard disagree. I think it's a very average card. Like I said, if it had ignore barrier, yes, card is good.
Yeah, the card is busted.
I agree. In blue, you're always going to play Baby Hatch over this, but I think in red or any of whatever the name leaders are, I think it's playable. Okay.
You could maybe get me to play this in red blue launch just because you don't have any free red blues besides Beerus. And last sets in that deck, like missing the Beerus was like a huge thing. Having a 5th free red blue multicolor. Also, this card being able to play to pressure on the turn, like defensively the turn before you go in with your multitude of beans and presence. So you can play this on 2 rather than 3 like Kai. It lines up nice where you can kind of sequence it. So maybe something to mess around with there. I personally don't think that deck's positioned very well, so I'm not going to spend the time doing so. But maybe red blue, you can make this work.
You can play it in pan and draw off it broken, but
Shut up.
Oh yeah,
Next card is Ss4 Vermilion Sands, and I know Trev wanted to talk about this one.
I didn't. I never said anything about this card.
I know.
But still, talk about it. It's a 1-drop black SS4 Vermilion Sands extra card. The ultimate counterattack for each color among cards and battle areas and energy areas. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barriers, send it to the owner's warp. For each card sent to the warp with the skill, up to one of your leader cards gets 5k power for the turn. And also has an activated main. If your leader card is 4 more energy, up to 4 black multicolor battle cards with different character names and energy cost of 2 from your deck, and shuffle your deck.
So it's
Essentially, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, essentially, you can use this counterattack because for really early in the game, because it says your opponent's. Well, it chooses your opponent's battle areas and your own battle area and energy areas also. But that's pretty good.
Yeah, so in like multicolored decks, you can hit 2 or 3 targets, and then if your opponent's running a different color than you can hit like an additional target. Anyone have anything like it's fine? I think it's just a power crept heroine's lineage. I don't know if anyone else has any strong thoughts one way or another on it.
Milnemba buffed.
Yeah,
Play this instead of the Heron's lineage.
I think this is just a really good secret rare for any deck that's playing multicolor, honestly.
If you were thinking about playing the last one we just talked about for removal, you might as well just play this because you're getting at least 2 things off the 2 colors you're going to be charging, plus it ignores barrier, which I think is probably stronger, and you're going to free roll probably a 3rd color a good majority of the time because, you know, if your opponent's playing blue, they're probably playing blue-yellow, and if you're playing red-blue, you're probably not playing against red, so.
But you're also probably, I mean, it isn't a battle card that you can put down on board as well. So, I mean, there are some downsides to it at the same time.
And the red blue one also, the auto isn't leader locked or anything. So you can put that in any deck, tap 2, and use it as a board clear too.
Nick, I think you had like a deck in mind for this SS4 secret rare.
Yeah. Toa. I said it.
Broken.
That's my Nats deck.
That's
Okay.
is that the only deck where doing the active main is actually good? I guess
Uh,
besides the SS4 Bardock, obviously, the deck that you're probably intending it for.
You mean the best deck in this current format that just won a regional?
Apparently, yeah.
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 Honestly,
Yeah,
I think this Vermilion Sands SCR will probably age well because I remember Armando saying that Super Saiyan 4 Bardock leader is just trash and it'll never be good. And I was like, yeah, there's enough things in this that I could actually keep accidentally getting support, and here's one that's clearly not by accident.
I said it's good for the virtue that it's a black Saiyan leader that can draw and untap on the awakened side. That's broken. But everything else about that archetype and leader is trash. So last secret rare, the green yellow.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say, does this card unlock your colors faster, but your opponents have 4 more energy to activate main? I was gonna say, does this just give you your leader skill like immediately?
No, yeah, you need to do
it will depend on your opponent having 4 energy.
It's a decent invest. Like if you're playing that deck and you drop this on 4 energy, and it looks like it's recyclable too. Like it's not one of the ones that disappears. So friggin', you know, you could loop this with Invijex or something like that. I don't know, but the green yellow, the Wicked Sands. Anyone have any strong feelings or want to talk about this one? Don't y'all jump up at one?
I think this card looks
No one.
cool. That's all I got though. Other than that, I fucking hate it.
I think it's a really good spell surge card, but that's about
It's
it.
really good.
Didn't we think we were doing bad for cursing last time?
Yeah, wait, dude, even
I forgot about that rule.
yeah,
I think everybody's cursed so far.
yeah,
I haven't.
It's all right.
How dare you accuse me?
We'll start fresh on episode 1.5.
We're gonna scrub this one too.
Okay, so
This one's already over.
it's the same thing. Green yellow 0 plus 10k energy exhaust ultimate. This one, when you play it, it gains dual attack and blocker if your opponent has 2 or more energy. Basically, it's a really good like ultimatum card. You tap 2, and then your opponent can either rest 4 cards or if they drop 2 cards from their hand. So a 2 energy, your opponent drops 2 cards, and you play a dual attack blocker, 40k. It's pretty good, honestly, especially because you can do it defensively, right? Get the 0+10, tap 2, and then your opponent's like, oh dang, either I tap out during my own turn, so it's like a double Bergamo, or my opponent gets this huge blocker and I discard 2 cards. It's a really good like early game secret rare. I would actually go as far as to say it's interesting that all these secret rares are early game. It's a huge tempo shift from secret rares of old, where you're using them your last turn defensively or your last turn offensively, right? Like
You use them to end the game.
exactly.
Yeah. These are all better than basically like the yellow blacks in Shenron.
Mm-hmm. And these seem more like tempo shift secret rares, which is really, really cool. Like, it's a cool idea. They fill a space that doesn't currently exist, which is, I guess, a bonus. Yeah. So anyone else have strong feelings on the secret rares?
It's a really gnarly Ribrian.
Yeah. Ribrian with legs.
A Ribrian or a Bergamo, take your pick. Like it's
Why
Ribrian
not
has a
both?
really big leg.
Well,
It's
it's not.
pretty feels-
Yeah, you don't get the card if they do tap 4.
right.
removed.
It's my favorite out of the 3. So
Yeah, I think it's probably my favorite. Just because I play a lot of green and yellow, but I
yeah,
mean
same here.
that's
See,
that's probably the extent.
I
that
like the
care about
SS4
it.
one the best. I feel like the SS4 one can just be splashed in a lot of decks. Like someone else said, it does feel like a power crept heroine's lineage.
I
The,
think it
for the
feels kind of
SS4
bad.
one, do you get the 5K for each color as well?
Each battle card warps. Yeah.
Yeah, each one
So
warped,
you could,
yeah.
if you warp 5, you get 25 for the turn.
Yeah,
If you warp
exactly.
4,
So I
on and
mean,
so forth.
for
Yeah.
one, it's also potentially it's a baby hatch.
Yeah.
That also wipes your opponent's board.
Right. Like,
But that is kind of worse though, because baby hatch is free.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it
Is it
also
though? You go
clears their
neg 1 in
board
hand.
though.
I mean, you're doing the same here. You don't get the body, but like you get to remove really annoying barrier threats.
Yeah,
So,
like there's
that's pretty
no
good.
condition on what it can remove. So like, yeah, you have to pay 1, but you're also getting rid of everything they've worked up to. So
No, I agree. I think it's pretty good. I think you'll see it. I'm interested to see what the case ratios are for these, because if it's still 2 per case, then these are going to probably be like the pricing on these is going to be cracked.
It's
Yeah.
gotta be 3.
We're gonna need these in box toppers.
Yeah, honestly.
they look like box toppers. The art's
Okay.
terrible.
Real quick, side deck cards for Nats. 1 or 2 cards you guys think are good to consider for the side. I'm going to start with 2 of my favorite black side deck cards, Petrification and Max Power Kamehameha. I think you should be, if you're playing a black leader, you should have at least 2 main deck Petrifications for the format we're in. And I think Max Power Kamehameha is a really powerful side card. I'll pass it off to Trevor. You can talk about a side deck card or 2.
One-sided card. I picked up recently Riot Javelins because the SS4 Annihilator, right? This was called yellow. Yeah. I think that card is freaking crazy. I hate the card. So if you're playing blue, Riot Javelin, get rid of that card. So
honestly, that card should have been banned because it just shuts down so many decks and so many strategies that are in the next set coming out, in my mind.
But I have to pay 3 for it, but get rid of the cards.
You're talking about Annihilation, not Riot Javelin, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking ban Annihilation.
Yeah.
I don't think Riot Javelin's even been main deck in any deck.
Oh no, we definitely main decked it for BO1 baby at one point. It was a very small period of time.
It came in clutch too, if I remember correctly. You won a game I think you topped that regional with that card in the main deck, and that price shot up pretty quick afterwards. I think you were telling everyone buy it now.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, that sounds like Jimmy. Good guy.
Like, oh, did I?
Don't forget to put my filter on TCG Player.
Seriously, that link will be in the description. All right. Yeah.
My side deck card is Koitsukai. It probably lost a little bit of its steam with Gohan Icarus maybe not being as represented and being able to play everything on your turn, on my turn, so the defensive side. But I think it's still such a really good card. Situationally, really can shift the tide of a game. So I would definitely, if you have the means to get it, definitely get Koitsukai, at least probably 2 of them.
That's a good
$50
call.
card.
Yeah.
And shockingly not reprinted in any collections, which I found that to be bizarre. But
I thought they were
I
doing a
agree.
reprint on it. I found,
There's a Judge reprint, but
okay, maybe
that's
that's it.
basically not a reprint at all.
Might
The
be
more
in the
expensive
mythic
version.
booster.
Hopefully.
Jimmy, side deck card of choice.
Side deck card of choice. I think Secret Identity is a really strong side deck card right now if you are not already maining it. Goku Black is wild, and the worst feeling is to play that into Secret Identity. So,
Facts.
yeah.
That's a good one, Jerry.
One pick at the very least for me is Broly Crown. I think that
Mhm.
card's just really good right now. Also, like being able to have knowledge of what's in your opponent's hand is going to be invaluable in any card game. But we're in a little bit of a slower format where you can like reasonably play it, peep what's in their hand, and steal like their God Sealing or their Frieza Charismatic. That's gonna answer whatever you're trying to do yourself. Uh, Another one that's like a little bit like less obvious is King Vegeta Hidden Ambitions. I really, really like that card, and I think it's in a good position. Like any one cost negate, or not even negate, rather, counter that they play, if they play it for free, so Dimension Magic, Power Burst, Super Kamehameha, stuff like that, it counters it. And counters are really good. So, 2 red deck picks, which no one's probably playing red decks, so this falls on deaf ears.
It's okay
Kyle?
because no one's talking about it, so you're helping them out.
Exactly.
Good generic sideboard card, especially with Gogeta Xeno getting some more consideration. If your deck doesn't have access to on color answers, there is the not specified one, Supreme Kai of Time Disruptor. I believe it's from the first anniversary box. But it's a counterplay. You play this card, and your opponent can attack with battle cards 2 or less cost until the start of their next turn. You also draw a card when it's played. So it's a nice way to keep hand parity that might buy you some time versus both red decks and Gogeta Xeno if you run into them.
Just in case they don't
The
have
early
foil
rounds, if you
version
find
and
some
stuff.
red decks at Nats or possibly shore up your first couple turns, Gogeta Xeno, so you can try to get some things going for you. But it's a nice card you can have access to in a variety of different color decks. Another card I do like for the sideboard, whether you're blue or blue yellow, Xeno Unison having the -5, the ability to clear all cards from the battle area, including fields, definitely comes up versus certain matchups. If you're worried about King Cold for whatever reason, or your deck, would like just a pretty pretty good slam dunk kind of answer to that deck. They can't really do much once they lose King Cold's Dynasty. Um, Also having a board wipe for 5 if you're playing like a blue base ramp decks, just not bad to have a kind of a field reset. I've had that come up in some matches. Uh, Even as late as kind of the world tournament, that card did me some pretty good in matchups where they didn't even have field cards. So something to consider if you have blue energy in your deck. You don't need a blue leader or anything like that.
Yeah, Supreme Kai is a
check it
good
out.
call out too. I'd forgotten about that card. That hilariously also shuts down Nick's SS4 Toa deck. Yeah,
Back to the drawing board, buddy.
Bye, Nick.
Yeah, see you guys.
what are your side deck picks, Nick?
Obviously, something that counters you, which is another black card. Yeah, shout out to black for being the ultimate sideboard deck color in the game. It's like,
No doubt.
just to give some extra flavor. Like, I mean, obviously, this is good. Clash of the Mast, Warriors.
Shut up, Pac-Man.
Isn't that
It's-
that's the anti cold deck card, right? Like the Unison one.
Anti-unisons in general.
It is actually still good against and relevant against Gogeta Xeno with the Armando special. Shit! We're gonna have to cut that out. So I'll just do a green pick.
I'm just trying to slam double strikes on my 120k Unison thing, and this man doesn't want me to dream.
Blue Impulse. So this is a good card for green that just allows more board control without needing to rely on charismatics. We do live in a format where almost everyone's playing battle cards on their opponent's turn. So while green's not exactly the most popular color outside of Cell Surge, it is still an interesting card, especially for considering at least the day 2 if you plan on scrubbing day 1.
Zach, sorry, I was sleeping for a second. So I guess 2 cards. I am siding. Can we do honorable mentions to like Jiren and Dabura and all that?
No.
So I've been citing these cards from set 7. The counterplays that if you have multicolor, they reduce cost. They're good specifically for Broly Crown. Because if you leave 2 energy up, they Broly Crown. You can play it, especially Vegeta the Cruel, because it kills the Broly or whatever you want, and then they discard a card. So the card's kind of nuts.
No, warp a card.
Yeah, that's such a good
Is it
punish.
warp?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
warp.
they do warp the card.
Yeah,
I
so
haven't read that card in a while.
they can't even Dabura you.
And then one other card that multicolor decks can play is Son Goku in close quarters. Just 2 energy combo, play it.
Get rid of that
You
Goku.
warp a 3 or less barrier battle card. Barrier. So it's just good to get rid of Slug, get rid of Absolute Annihilation.
Zach says I'm bringing Raditz to Nats.
I'm bringing Raditz to Nats, dude. Old Raditz, not even reboot. None of that reboot crap. Get out of here.
Okay, so Zach, you can go through some honorable mentions while I set up the next section.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say Jiren as the Turning the Tide tax. Just have to play at least 1 or 2 in your side. So your side deck is basically 13 cards. And then I don't have it out, but the Dabura, I forget what the name of it is.
Ritual at Hand.
Ritual at Hand. There you go. Thank you, Kyle. So yeah, if you're playing like 2 Jiren, 3 Dabura, you have 10 sideboard slots.
And
So you get-
to be fair, I think that's accurate because I think that's the split you want for your side is 2-3, unless you're playing a deck that can main deck Dabura. But even then, I think that's a little unnecessary. You're probably better off just siding the 3 in because Cell Surge is a quick deck. Like you're going to get to game 2 and 3. So I agree with that.
Favorite
All
formats
right.
are the ones where you don't have 15 cards in your sideboard, you only have 10.
Yeah.
Great.
Also, you're playing green for some odd reason. There's also a side deck card. It's a 1-drop green Vegeta. This card is pitched. You're able to play it for your drop area and draw 1 card. So
Yellow has
it's
one
like
of that too.
Yeah, Yellow's got it. Yellow's
does
is a
have it?
future Gohan.
okay, well,
That deck sucks though, so no one's ever looked at the cards.
That's a good shot.
instead of paying the energy for Dabura, you just simply play the Vegeta.
And it's a draw
and
one.
draw
Yeah.
Do they need a green or yellow leader specifically to play them from drop? Okay, they do.
Yeah, the Vegeta has to
Cell
be
Surge is
green.
Aha.
Man.
side 8 of those for the mayor. Far and
Oh,
floor.
Find me 8 cards to side out, bro.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, that concludes our side deck cards. I think that was pretty informative. I learned something. I hope everyone else watching learned something. Really quick, we're going to get into results of training. We're going to talk about some of the team testing we did this week, maybe some of our performances at tournaments. I actually didn't vet anybody ahead of time today, so does anyone want to jump in? Jimmy, you want to talk about some recent testing you've had?
Sure. I think the last game I played was with Nick. We played Hatch vs King Cold, and
Sounds awful.
I played full Canadian on him, so he had it every time.
Yeah, he
He even up 3 times and he still won.
yeah, he got real greedy with the freezes and played in a petrification every time. That was pretty much the game.
You know what? I was like, screw this, because last time I played, I was sniping Daburas out of people's hands.
I talked about the match a little bit on this week's podcast episode. Nick, do you want to talk about it a little more from your perspective?
King Cold versus Hatch.
Yeah. Or you just talk about King Cold in general, playing it.
King Cold, like I love the deck. I think it's a good deck. But it's also just victimized with a crutch of green, which is just it's fair. It's easily countered. It needs to that deck mills itself out without needing to run into a mill deck by turn 5, and it doesn't even have a big hand, and half the hand size is basically extra cards. It's extremely good at filtering, so really, I would say it's a worse version of Launch when people started running into it and didn't understand how and when it cycles to create, a stronger leader. So if they're not swinging into it more than twice, it's kind of almost not even worth it sometimes. But it's one of those decks where at the end of the day, you just swing into Unison until you don't need to, and you go in for game. The deck does nothing without its Unison, which is sad.
So I realize you made a terribly inside joke there that our viewers might not know. When you say go full Canadian, can you explain what playing Dragon Ball like a Canadian is, Nick?
When you go full Canadian, you see what energy is left up, and you say, you probably have it. But just in case you don't, and I find out after the game that you were bluffing, we're going to play into it to make you have it. That's going full Canadian.
Yeah, we say, I'm going to force you to have it, or you either have it or you don't.
And you do it 3 turns in a row.
It's a bad habit that I'm actually picking up on. It's not healthy. There are sometimes when you got to pump the brakes, but no.
But it feels so good the one time they don't have it. Then you're like,
It does.
see, it's
like
worth it.
Yeah.
And so the big thing is, if it's a situation where you won't lose the game by playing into it, you should always go full Canadian in my mind. You should always do it. Because in Nick's example, let's just break it down, right? He can snipe first and then get his attack and his card gets negated. Or he can swing first, say, he's got to have petrification or he's going to lose crazy value here. Jimmy petrifies, ditches a card. He gets the same advantage either way. The only problem is the snipe is controlled by Jimmy instead of being randomized by Nick. But on the other hand, Nick keeps his field card. So arguably, it's the right play in that situation. Arguably.
I don't know. I disagree. I think if he hadn't done that, he could have had a chance at winning.
I've sniped a lot of Deburras this week, man. So I've just gotten scared. I'm just like, you know what?
Well, when you put it like that, never mind. I shouldn't have even petrified, bro.
I just need to be relying on these whenever I'm gonna randomize something out of someone's hand and just be like, I'm not allowed to choose. I'm terrible. That's why Self Surge Rebrand's great. I don't have to choose.
Yeah.
If they got it, they got it.
Anybody else got special matchups they want to talk about from this week?
I played in the Carta Magica Regional, 3-3, and then I just called it a day. Matchups were 2 Gogeta Xeno, went 1-1 against them. I was playing with Ss4 Vegeta. Deck's terrible. Probably more so now. Yeah, just what else did we? So we played against the Ss4 Mirror, beat that. Soul Striker Ramp, which was a new one for me, and by the time he dropped the Android 17-18 big boss monster, I had just found out that he was playing blue-green, which was really neat.
Can I clarify that in the mirror match you did not win, he just lost?
I mean,
but he beat himself.
What's the difference? I mean, I still marked it down. When I reported, I put my name 1, and that was that. Was it not? So Cell Surge, got stomped. That was not fun. And then I played a Gohan Icarus earlier in the day, and that was honestly pretty easy matchup. All things considered, you can more or less just sit there and build advantage. You don't really advance game state, and eventually you win. You just got to play the right cards.
All right. So, Trev, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I played in the Carta Magica tournament also, and got demolished early on.
Got washed. Trev says I got washed, but it happened.
Man, our team's good.
Been playtesting
sick.
Like higher tier decks, then I play against Toa,
Yeah, you played against. Yeah, and we all know from Nick's comments earlier that deck's broken.
Dude, you lost to it twice. Deck snapped.
What SS4? I'm just like, what? I actually didn't know it was a thing until
It's not.
Honestly, though, I can see getting caught by it because you're not expecting it. Like if you've never played against it before, you're not ready. Like you don't. For example, you're playing Zamasu, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just want to keep your beans in that matchup. You want to mull everything, keep your beans, and then when he goes wide with 316Ks, you say Senzu bean. My turn. But
and it's always your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question though, Trev, did they win both the die rolls?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Huge.
So that's the big thing. Best of one, losing both die rolls. If they see their Vegetas at the beginning of the game, that means he has to double beam, and then their crit hits. So and Zamasu just gets feels bad against early aggro, which that deck can pivot to. So I'll say that much on it at least.
Facts. I agree with that. All right. So good. Okay, so that's going to conclude our talk. Next time we'll get into a little more results, a little more specific matchups. We're going to try and start putting some gameplay up as well, so you can actually see us do some of our play testing. Other than that concludes your first evening with Hermit Style. I hope everyone watching had a good time, and I hope we get to do more of these. I know I had a good time. Please let us know in the comments, let us know in the Discord what you want to see. If you have questions you want us to answer, a specific player to answer, we have a lot of really talented players that work in different colors. Like if you have a question about hand control or cell surge, Nick's a really good resource. I know Zach's been grinding a little bit of Gohan recently, so he's been doing really well with that. I'm sure he'd give you some insight. So anything like that, feel free to ask any questions of us, okay? Jimmy, any closing thoughts?
No, I think I agree with everything you said. We want to just make these what you guys want to listen to. So whatever it is specifically want to talk about, let us know. We're try to differentiate this a little bit from the podcast. So the podcast, you hear a lot of my thoughts, but this is really a cool opportunity to hear a lot of different perspectives from our competitive team. So.
Everybody's like, I just want to hear more.
No one wants that.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Problem on my back every day. I got to shed this weight. I try whatever way. You got to big boy problem. Go to school every day. You got to break come back to do whatever they say. I got to